Und los! All In wird präsentiert von Salt.
But I don't wanna spend the whole my life indoors.
Hi, how are you? Hi, friend. Nice to meet you. Hi.
Waiting on the next storm. I don't wanna spend the whole my life inside. I wanna step out and face the sunshine.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired. To be honest
Tired?
with you. The record came out 1 week ago, and the record label have been making me work very hard in that week. So yeah, I feel like I could sleep for about a month right now.
For a whole month?
Something like that. That'd be nice. I'm not going to get to do that, unfortunately, but it'd be nice.
You'll be on tour, right? You have to work,
Yeah.
work, and work
Yes.
even more.
Yeah. I mean, the last kind of week or so, I've been doing like 2 or 3 shows a day, every day, which is pretty tiring. But hey, now we're in Zurich, so that's good.
But are you even in mood talking to me?
Oh, of course.
It's going to be a long talk.
Of course,
as you know.
okay. It's all good.
That's good. The first thing I want to ask you is, you've been on tour a lot, and you don't have an apartment for a long time. How was the lifestyle then versus now? Did a lot change now that you have an apartment?
A little bit. I mean, it means that I'm pissing off my friends less by not sleeping on their sofas and stuff like that when I'm not on the road. I think, I don't know, that I've definitely sort of made an effort to kind of take a bit better care of myself, I suppose would be the best way of putting it, in the last few years. I mean, I think that there was definitely kind of a moment when I thought I was possibly about to tour myself to death, and that wasn't necessarily a good idea. And the whole kind of like macho bravado thing about I can do more shows than everyone else, I don't think anyone cared about it apart from me. So we still tour hard. I mean, this is after today I'm on tour until Christmas, and then next year's going to be crazy as well, which is great. But you know, we take a few more days off here and there now, and we sort of come home for a week between tours.
So instead of having no days off, you have now maybe 1 day in a month, or
No. We
what
do like 3 or 4 shows and then have a day off these days.
Okay.
We used to do like 20 shows in a row without days off.
Does it have to do something with getting older as
Yeah,
well?
very much so. Yeah, there's stuff you can do when you're 23 which you can't do when you're 33. You know, things start hurting a lot more.
Where do you feel it? When you're on stage and realizing my legs can't...
It's not so much, when you're on stage you've got the adrenaline that kind of makes it okay. It's when you come off stage and you stand in the shower and cry. And think about all the bits of your body that don't work anymore.
Which is your right toe, I guess.
It's my back, actually. I broke my back.
I heard that, yeah. Do you still have problems and issues with that?
I have to stretch every day, and I have to stretch twice if I'm doing a show. It's very boring, but I have to do it.
And how do you stretch that? Do you have any, I don't know, rubber bands working out
Yeah,
with,
that kind of stuff, yeah.
Okay. And do you still have to go to therapy, or?
Not as much as I used to. I mean, I'll get a massage here and there if I can, like a sports massage. But it's, I mean, you know, I can deal with it. It's functional, but it was that was kind of a scary time for me. Like, I don't know if you've ever slipped discs in your back, but if you haven't, I wouldn't recommend it.
But how did it happen for those who haven't noticed yet that you broke your back? What exactly happened?
So it wasn't like a sort of a one-off incident thing. Although I seem to remember I jumped off like the drum kit, I think, which I do quite a lot in Tennessee at Bonnaroo Festival.
Okay.
And I landed and kind of went, that wasn't brilliant. And then over the next month, it just got worse and worse and worse.
So you continued the show, but you knew that something wasn't really...
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we were in Finland, I think it was, and I basically got about 2 songs into a set and just couldn't move. So we finished the set, and then I went home and cried a lot. And then I mean basically we did we did a 3-month world tour, because this was 1 week before a 3-month world tour.
Whoa.
And the doctor told me that he was like, don't worry, you're going to be fine, you just got to cancel whatever you're doing for the next 3 months. And I said, nope, that's not going to happen. So my guitar tech learned all my guitar parts, and I didn't have a guitar. And I was very careful, and I had to do all this stretching and stuff, but it, you know, we're better now.
Weren't you scared at that moment when it happened that you couldn't perform, maybe?
Yeah.
Was that an issue?
It was. I mean, the whole thing was terrifying and very painful. But we made it. We made it.
You're still performing.
So now I can go jump off stuff again.
And the good thing is that you write positive songs again, and you know, the last album was about the breakup. And you got over it, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it so that it sounds like it was like, yeah, now I'm done with that. Like, you know, it was a lot of time and effort to get over it. Not least writing that album, actually. It was catharsis, you know, very, very cathartic for me to write Descartes. But yeah, definitely in a more positive place now than I was before.
Okay. Talking again of being homeless in a bourgeois way, how you would say it. Was there a point where you said, like, what the hell am I doing here? You know, I'm touring all the time and everyone probably has a home or a place to stay. Was that ever something that you had in your mind?
Not really.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I'm quite stubborn as well. I'm quite like, I don't really care what people think about me or what other people do with their life. You know, I felt like I was doing the right thing, so I did it. And other people's opinions are irrelevant to me. The other thing as well that really bothers me sometimes is that people talk about whether or not what I do, you know, whether I live a normal life. It's such a stupid idea. No one lives a normal life. There's no such thing.
Well, what is a normal life?
Right, well, exactly. You know, so
that's the question you have.
Yeah, you know, fine. I don't kind of work from 9 till 5 in an office or whatever.
I think that's what people talk about when they mean.
Yeah, but I mean, then nor does most of the population in Malawi. You know what I mean? So, like, who cares? Yeah. And I think spending energy on considering other people's opinion of you is a waste of time.
Well, that also means if you're that stubborn and, you know, go your own path, I assume it was, especially at that time, very hard to keep up, you know, relationships with people. Not only romantic relationships, also other kind of relationships, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't it super hard for you?
Yeah, it is. Although, I mean, this is the other thing, like, I mean, I think that there isn't a kind of, you know, hypothetical homebound life that I'm going to come back and pick up when I'm done with touring. You know, being on the road is much more normal to me than not, and that's been the case since I was 16. So,
so you were always on the move? Yeah,
I get itchy feet, you know, I don't like staying still. I did my first tour when I was 16, I didn't tour full time until I was in my early 20s, but I certainly, since then, I find it weird being at home. I find it uncomfortable. That's interesting, isn't it? I feel like everyone has a place where they're happy or feel home, but it's not a local thing to you. It's not about the place, right? It's a group of people and it's a lifestyle and maybe it's a tour bus. The tour bus? Yeah, I like my tour bus. I mean, we don't always have the same one, but everyone always has the same bunk, like relative to everybody else's kind of thing. So I'm back top left. That's me. that's your spot. But you never switch, I guess. No, it's bad luck, bad karma. Do you have any rituals talking about bad luck and stuff while you're on tour? Not really. I mean, I have a routine, which is not quite the same thing. I mean, it's funny, like a lot of people talk about tour life being this kind of life of freedom, and it is on some levels, but it's also an incredibly structured existence. You know, I generally know what I'm doing every minute of every day in advance. My tour manager puts a post-it note on my forehead in the morning and tells me where I'm going to be until I have to go to bed again. So yeah, it's a very structured way to be. But I mean, we all high-five each other before we go on stage. Okay. That's the only real ritual that we have. But at least you do something where you stick to every time. Tell me more about the structured life. I mean, a person standing outside of a musician's life would think it's a rock star life. You probably drink beer all the time, see a lot of girls, and then... I'm drinking Coke right now. Oh, is it Coke? Yeah. It's too early for beer. And that's what I would think, but there's obviously more behind it, right? Yeah, I mean, well, the first thing to say is that I hate cliches about rock stars and bullshit. I'm a musician. Nothing else is different about the rules of social engagement. You know, I don't get to treat people badly because I play guitar for a living. That's nonsense. You're very close to your fans as well, right? Well, yeah. I mean, well, again, I don't really like the word fan either because it sounds like something Marie Antoinette would say. You know, I don't know. I go to shows when I'm not on tour. I don't really consider us to be any different from each other.
So you wouldn't mind get off the stage and then have a drink with someone of the audience, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I do that. I certainly used to do that all the time because I used to sell my own merchandise. But I mean, these days, you know, it gets a little bit more hectic at shows because a lot of people want to say hey. And also because, you know, I mean, like today I've got a few Zurich friends around and I want to see them. And I don't, you know, it's more important to me to catch up with my friends than it is to like sign autographs endlessly at a bar kind of thing.
Did you make these friends through music because they came to your concerts?
Back in the days when no one came to my gigs. You know, I feel like there's a lot of people who put me up and let me sleep on their floor in the early days, and I always try and get them into shows and take them out for dinner and that kind of thing. And we laugh about how ridiculous it is.
That's sweet.
That this has worked out.
Is this something for you that you can realize? Nowadays you're playing in front of 50,000, for example, tonight at Letzigrund.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really got my head around tonight yet. I haven't had time to think about it tonight. I've been too busy. So I'm just going to deal with that when we get on stage and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to spend my whole life sort of protesting too much, you know, and pretending that I haven't noticed that I've been successful to a degree in my career. But at the same time, I mean, you know, I don't want it to change who I am. I don't want to sort of walk around with a stick up my ass just because we play for lots of people.
But that's something that seems to be an issue in the punk scene. Within the punk scene, there are not really rules what defines a punk or something. But as soon as someone becomes quite popular, they go like, "Oh, you're a sellout." Nah, nah, nah. Why do you think that's an issue? Because it's a good thing, isn't it, to be successful with music?
Well, yes. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff with this. I mean, the first thing I'd say is I think that actually punk rock shouldn't be about rules, but in practice, it's an incredibly rule-driven community. It's an ideology at the end of the day, and the extreme ends of any ideology tend towards, you know, looking at in-groups and out-groups and looking at the sacred and the profane and all that kind of thing. So it's not surprising to me. I think, you know, punk rock has a kind of admirable suspicion of motive somewhere in it, which I think is a good thing. But that does, spill over into just hating anybody who does well. Which is a shame because I have a lot of residual affection for punk rock. It's definitely my start in life and I still think that it's a big part of what I do. But I'm too old to care about people using the word sellout on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Jesus Christ, they'll all grow out of it too, sooner or later.
But were you ever at a point where you were scared of success, where you thought like, ooh, if I reach a certain level, I might lose some of my basic fans who were there at the first place?
No, because, and it's important to sort of contextualize this, I'm not doing this for the fans, I'm doing it for me. You know, I try and write songs that I think are good, and I'm trying to play shows that I think are good. It's awesome that people agree with me, or some people agree with me some of the time. It's fucking great, and I'm very grateful for it, but I'm not going to kind of like outsource my judgment about my career choices and stuff. And if somebody doesn't like what I do, or if they used to like what I do and they don't anymore, I go, okay, cool.
You just stay true to yourself, and whoever accepts it, accepts
I'm not going to sort of crawl around after some kid who liked my first record and doesn't like any of the rest of them, trying to make him happy. It's nice that he likes even one of my records.
And in the other place, there are new fans listening to the new music.
I'm grateful for anyone coming to my shows. You know, you can't assume that. There's something. Some bands get picky about their audience, which I think is mad. You can't do that. The people who come are the people who come.
You can say you shouldn't listen to my music.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't want these kind of people to be there. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That would be really weird, isn't it?
Well, I just think it's kind of pretentious.
Yeah.